Hi there, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. My name is Desiree, and in this video, I'm doing a shadow reading for Libra. I am using the TrueBlack Tarot by Arthur Wang. This is the Black Tarot by Victoria Iva, and this is the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle by Serafina Mesa. So I've already smudged the decks, and I'm actually working on an intro, and it shows a nice fanning of the cards and the smudging of all the decks. So video editing is a little bit harder than it looks, so I am working on it. Anyhow, I did all that off camera, by the way. So Libra, if for any reason this reading is not resonating for you, try your sun, your sun or your moon or your rising sign. You can additionally try your sidereal placements. The sidereal astrology uses the true sky, the actual size of the constellations, and the actual locations of the constellations. So our signs are generally a sign off in sidereal. So you can try that as well. Also, read the titles of the videos and see if any of the titles catches your eye. We technically have all of the zodiac signs in our charts because of the house system. So you have a bit of all 12 or 13, if we're speaking sidereal, signs in your chart. Okay, Libra, let us see what we have for you. 8 of Swords in reverse, air energy. 5 of Wands, fire energy. And then the Justice card in reverse. This is our major arcana card. This is Libra energy. This is our card. I am a Libra sun in sidereal. I am a Libra and moon rising in tropical. And I do have stelliums in Libra for both sidereal and tropical. So I've got lots of Libra energy in my chart, either way you go. So okay, so we've got lots of air energy here, definite conflict. The 8 of Swords is definitely a card of like victimization, self-victimization. It can also be, you know, you creating things in your mind, and just kind of putting yourself in a spot mentally, it's sort of creating your own monster, I guess what I'm trying to say. And then with the Justice card here, our major arcana card, your card, our card, and with her being in reverse, you know, this card speaks of like equality, of like a balancing of in our physical world. You know, it's kind of like no deed goes unnoticed. If you're putting good energy into the world, you know, you're going to get that back. If you're putting bad energy into the world, you're going to get that back. And so Libra is a card of making sure that is balanced. Are we acting in our best selves? Are we acting the way our mom would appreciate, you know? And this card is talking about that balance. Are you balanced in the way that you want to be? In a way, are you balanced in you reaping what you've sown, right? And with it being in reverse, it's definitely saying there is an imbalance, or probably something needs to be worked on a little bit more. We're going to use the TrueBlack Tarot by the Black Tarot by Victoria Iva to dive deeper into these cards. The message that I'm getting here, I feel like there is just something going on in your head. There's conflict, of course, with this Five of Wands. And then with this Libra card, you know, it's something is definitely unbalanced, and we need to see what that is, Libra. And, you know, Libras are all about, you know, balance and you know, including everybody, and making things harmonious, and getting things to work together. So something is just not working. And we're going to figure it out, okay? Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a shadow reading. All right, this series is a series of shadow readings. Okay, Libra, let us talk about this Eight of Swords in reverse. So we've got the Three of Cups, water energy, Nine of Wands in reverse, fire energy, and then the Page of Swords, air energy. So pages are always earth, but within their suit, they are a combination of earth and their suit. So he is earth of water. I'm sorry, earth of air. So you have, you kind of have all elements represented here. Earth being, because this is a page. Then we have these, then we have fire, water, and then air here. So I do feel like what's going on here, this self-victimization card, this kind of turning things over in our mind, kind of making it worse. I do feel with the Page of Swords being here, him being the youngest. Is it him or he? I think it's he. He being the youngest of the courts, you know, within his suit. The swords are all about air, communication, thinking. His thinking can be a little immature, a little premature, and just in the way that he goes about doing things. He's very much grounded, right? So he's very exploratory. He wants to get a good understanding of things. But I do see that he might be kind of tied up a little bit in his emotions. And so it's kind of clouding his judgment, his understanding of things. We've got the Nine of Wands here, which is kind of like, it's kind of like that overload where you're beginning to be overloaded. You've got a lot of things going on. You've got a lot of irons in the fire. I mean, you're almost to that point of the Ten of Wands where you're just overburdened and carrying things. But I do see that you are, you're expending a lot of energy on this situation. And with this Three of Cups here, I do feel like it's working in tandem with this Eight of Swords energy here. It's kind of you're putting your emotions into this situation here, and I feel like it's just making a little too many waves for you. It's just creating a sense of imbalance, of not understanding. Of not understanding your situation, of not understanding how to handle it. So I do kind of feel a little bit of lost energy here. Let's read this Five of Wands and see what this conflict has to say. So King of Spheres, earth energy, air of earth. Then we've got the Moon, major arcana card, and Five of Cups. Okay, so with the Moon here, this card is a multifaceted card. This card speaks of things that are hidden, things that we need to bring light on. It can also talk a little bit about deceit in a way, illusions. But then it also talks about the changing cycles. You know, things go through cycles. Things are always changing. And so And we've got the Five of Cups here as well. And this is emotional loss, emotional sadness, emotional upset. So I'm kind of getting a feeling that this conflict, so we've got two fives here, by the way, this conflict, I think, is bringing up a lot of emotions, a lot of things that are hidden, that need to be recognized. And you've been dealing it in a way of this King of Spheres. You know, he is, all kings are air, and within his suit, he is heir of earth. So he's very much in his thinking, kind of set in his ways. And the way that you've been looking at this situation, I think, looking at it and dealing with it, I think is kind of causing you this pain. It's kind of causing this conflict. Is like ruminating in your head and going over and over again. And I think that you need to sort of look at it in a different light. And I'm getting this, like, that's the shadow work that needs to be done here. It's almost like you are, I don't want to say ignoring it, but you're not looking at it in the correct way. Like, I'm getting Hanged Man type of vibes here. And it is causing you emotional upset. And let's get a read on this Justice card here, Libra. Justice in reverse. So we've got 9 of Spheres. That is Earth card. 4 of Wands, fire. And 8 of Wands. So right off the bat, I'm getting, with this 8 of Wands in reverse, 4 of Wands, 8 of Wands in reverse. The problem, the reason being that this Justice is in reverse, I think, is due to your inaction, your inactivity, you might be kind of, you've got your head in the sand type feeling that I've got going on here. I don't think I fully explained this King of Wands and how he relates to this. Because that's going to feed in, that feeds into this. So the King of Wands is heir of earth, right? So his thinking is really methodical. You know, he's that show me type thing, very physical. You know, I have to see it to believe it. And so the way that he handles things, it might be just that he kind of turns his back to it until it's like literally kicking him in the back. You know, if it's kind of just eating away at his mind, he's, I feel like what's happening is that it hasn't quite materialized for you in a physical kind of way, but it's in your mental plane. It's in your mental sphere, and it's not serving you. It's not serving you. And this is causing the conflict within yourself. And with that being said, is that you're not putting enough action into what's happened, right? There was this conflict, and excuse me. There was this conflict, and you haven't taken the necessary steps to try to resolve it, to try to re-even the balance, the scales, okay? 8 of Wands in reverse, you know, this is our one of those actionary cards where you know, we've got those 8 wands just shooting across the cards, and it's a call to action. It's a call to, let's get going. Let's do this, you know. And then the 4 of Wands is, it's sort of like its brother card in numerology. So this is like the action plan getting going after we've had the upset. But then with the 4 of Wands here, this was our initial plan before it got upset of the 5. So I'm seeing that maybe you attempted to resolve the situation, and you didn't get the results that you were looking for. And so what I'm getting here is that you need to try something else, try something new. And that kind of falls in line with this as well, is the way that you've been handling it is in a King of Spheres, a King of Pentacles type situation. But you need to dive a little bit deeper. You need to go in and perhaps deal with it some emotional type thing, some emotional, perhaps there is some kind of emotional upset, right? That started this conflict in the first place. There was some kind of emotional loss, emotional sadness, and I feel like maybe that is has been buried for you, Libra. You buried it, and you've been kind of taking like this hard. I mean, look at his face. He's just kind of mad, and just kind of taking this hard stance towards it, and either buried it or you're not going to deal with it. But like things do, you know, when you try to bury something, they start bubbling and wanting to come to the surface at the worst possible time. And so eventually we do have to deal with it. And I do see that you have buried it, but it is bubbling to the surface in this Eight of Swords card, and it's starting to affect, it's starting to bother you. So yes, so I would say your shadow work, Libra, is to go deep within yourself, find out why you've buried these emotions, and how that relates to this conflict that you're experiencing. This conflict is giving you some kind of mind demons, I guess you could say, maybe even a mind tornado, in which you don't really know what to do with it. You don't know how to fix it. But I think if you go back and you do a little bit of self-work, and understand the root cause of these feelings, the root cause of why you buried it, right? And just acknowledge it. I think it's going to be a stepping stone, and then the path is going to reveal itself, and you'll be able to start moving. You'll start realizing things, and you'll start moving forward. And something needs to be rebalanced, okay? And it starts with the shadow work here. It definitely does. So if you can go back to a time when perhaps you were taught either outrightly or just, you know, picked it up because that's the way the family did things, you know, go back to a time when you were taught to hide your emotions, hide your feelings, and understand why was it? Is that's how your dad did it, or, you know, your family just didn't like emotions to be expressed, or were you know, kids don't have feelings, they're just meant to be seen, you know, help with the chores, yada yada yada. You know, that all has an effect on us, and that has an effect on future relationships too. So so if you can just go back in time, recognize that that's happening, or that happened rather, and then you'll be able to start seeing patterns. You'll see patterns in ways that you deal with things. You know, when you're upset, or when something, you know, you don't really like, but you're like, okay, fine, whatever, I don't care, just leave me alone. You know, that type of situation. You know, you do care, and it did upset you, but it was best for you not to make the wave. And it's okay to care, and it's okay to have and ask for what you want. But just, you know, somewhere along the lines, you were taught that it was not, and that you and your feelings don't matter. And you've got to give that little self a hug, a big hug, and say, I see you, you do matter. And then, like I said, the pathway will start to reveal itself. It'll start to open up. And then you can come back, and you can start to even out the scale. You can even out the balance. With your inaction, the balance of the scales is off. So you're going to have to figure out a plan of action, right, to even up these scales. Okay, with that being said, Libra, I'm going to draw an oracle card for you from the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle. This was a Kickstarter deck. Let me just show you this art. I love the color. The colors that were used by the artist, just amazing. This was a joint venture. Serafina, she wrote the book, and she, I guess she came up with the concept of each of the cards, and then there's an artist who illustrated. Let me see. It's Kat L. Amsel. That is the illustrator. All right, Libra, these shadow readings are deep, and they carry a lot of weight and carry a lot of energy. And it's amazing how tired I get after these. It's just, yeah, I just, you know, I usually read for myself and friends, and they were like, reading for other people was few and far between. And so I just didn't get the chance to, I guess, feel the tiredness. But now that I do, you know, a few at a time, I do feel the tiredness, and I can feel the heaviness, and I can also sometimes even feel the emotion of what the cards are saying. It's quite amazing. All right, Libra, let's see what this oracle has to say for you. Mischief and mayhem. Wow. Freedom, surrender, abandon. Oh, listen to those birds. That might be a mockingbird. We have a lot of, I think they're called northern mockingbirds. They have lots of songs. Okay. Mischief and mayhem. There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, and you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly? Aaron Hansen. I like how the author put little quotes at the beginning of each description. Okay, the raven was of great significance to many indigenous cultures as well as in Norse mythology. The raven was often revered as the transformer or the trickster with great powers. There are infamous tales of ravens causing mischief, and the mayhem that would ensue would often have a profound rippling effect on society. According to Haida, artist Christian White, the raven, quote, was the being that changed things, sometimes quite by accident, sometimes on purpose, end quote. Whether intentional or not, ultimately the havoc would result in a rebalancing and shift in power. When mischief and mayhem arrive in a spread, it is challenging us to break free from the soul-sucking, unbalanced, patriarchal machine and surrender to our true wild nature. We will no longer let anyone outside of ourselves tell us who we are, how we should act, and who we should be. Society tells us taking time for ourselves is selfish, and that we must give until there is nothing left, no more. Let us reignite that dwindling fire in our belly and surrender to mischief and mayhem. It is time to do something bold and drastic that stirs the pot and reverberates so loudly that its rippling effect changes the world around us. We can take that journey, reveal that truth, or start that passion project. Whatever it is that sets our soul on fire is the very thing we must do. Then, once again, we will transform back into untamed beings and change the world through our own metamorphosis. That is amazing. Yes, so that does speak of how at one time we were contained to be in this box that was required of us, that others wanted of us. We weren't allowed to express ourselves. And so that is very telling, understanding of why, you know, people would go into put your head in the sand mode, you know. But like I said, you can only do that for so long, because then it starts to boil and bubble to the surface. But we've got to get back to ourselves, you know. We've got to get back to being who we are, you know, and I just wanted that to be kind of perfect. Okay, Libra, I hope this shadow reading has helped in some kind of way. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, please hit the little thumbs up button and consider subscribing. I would appreciate getting to know you. And my favorite of the three would be leaving a comment, because I enjoy reading everybody's comments, and it's always nice to get feedback. So with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.